We just heard why this campaign is an emergency and why we call on people to act now to build a global movement needed for the release of Iran's political prisoners. This is not a symbolic stand, but a concrete goal. Yesterday, PEN America issued a press release that said, and I quote, imprisoned Iranian poet, filmmaker, and recipient of the 2021 PEN Barbary Freedom to Write Award, Bakhtash Aptin, died in a Tehran hospital, succumbing to COVID-19. Our worst fears materialized as we mourn the utterly preventable death of Bakhtash Aptin. COVID is a natural killer, but Aptin's death was aided and abetted by the Iranian government every step of the way. Tehran's Evin prison was a perpetual super spreader, making his unjust imprisonment since September of last year an effective death sentence. Aptin was denied medical treatment, his comorbidities were ignored, and at times he was shackled to his bed. He was a true champion of free expression and a steadfast leader of Iranian literary and human rights communities. When his brave role put a target on his back, he did not flinch or hide. We will remember Aptin as a gifted poet and filmmaker, but also a courageous thinker and an honorable advocate, end quote. Our campaign's emergency appeal is appropriately titled, The Lives of Iran's Political Prisoners Hang in the Balance. We must act now. It was printed as an ad in the summer edition of the New York Review of Books, and it provides needed political and moral clarity in this life and death struggle. The appeal has been signed by over 3,100 people, including Noam Chomsky, Gloria Steinem, Shireen Ebadi, Dan Ellsberg, Ariel Dorfman, Judith Butler, Jody Williams, and Raymond Latta. Our appeal sets a correct moral and political terms for freeing the prisoner with its powerful content and demands, its wide embrace of justice-seeking people, and the breadth and prominence of its many signers from over 40 countries and every continent save Antarctica. It critically and uniquely calls on the people in the US and globally to stand against the Iranian regime's brutal repression while also opposing US threats or aggression in Iran. It has crossed borders and forged a community of people from all walks of life fighting for Iran's political prisoners. A powerful expression was the demonstration at the Iranian embassy on January 16th in Bogota, Colombia. You can learn more about this at the global movement page of freeiran'spoliticalprisonersnow.org. And let's spread this international spirit. Our emergency appeal says the governments of the US and Iran act from their national interests. Our campaign, on the other hand, proceeds from the interest of humanity. We, the people of the US and Iran, along with the people of the world, have our shared interests as part of getting to a better world and to unite to defend the political prisoners of Iran. We also hold that the people in the US have a special responsibility given its history, the US's history, okay, of intervention in Iran. That is to unite very broadly against this vile repression by the Islamic Republic of Iran, and to actively oppose any war moves by the US government that would bring even more unbearable suffering to the people of Iran. You will hear more about this from the speakers and solidarity statements today, not just the horrific repression, but also the fierce resistance inside Iran. It is critical to understand why we say these political prisoners represent heroism for our times. What is happening in Iran is not only theocratic fanaticism by the IRI for 43 years, horrible as that is. The IRI has been hit with repeated massive and heroic uprisings by the Iranian people in 2017, in 2019, and again throughout 2021. The political prisoners represent the hope for a different future. We call on everyone to stand with them because they are frontline fighters in Iran who are standing up, and many of them looking for a different way for the world to be. Our emergency appeal points to another way forward and demanding of the Iranian regime, free all political prisoners now, And also to the US government, no threats or war moves against Iran, lift US sanctions. I want to share Ariel Dorfman's powerful words that he sent to our campaign that expresses his deep humanity, compassion, and sense of kinship with the Iranian people and political prisoners. Quote, if I have signed on to the emergency campaign to free Iran's political prisoners, it is because I know that this initiative will effectively call attention to the situation of men and women in the country who, if enough pressure is brought to bear on its leaders, could tomorrow be liberated from terrible conditions and extraordinary injustice. And even if those leaders do not listen, I am convinced from personal experience that the prisoners themselves are given strength to survive and persevere. They are listening. They know others far away care what happens to them, and we should not let them down, end quote. Thank you.